Hello guys, and welcome to a new WARNO video today by me, Vulcan. In this one I have for you a 3 versus 3 on rocks, and I'm going to be playing with the 27th Guards. As you can see, the game is already underway as a MiG crashes down after an engagement with an Eagle, but I really wanted to show off this game today because it really matches the spectacle of previous games where I've used rockets, and this is kind of the third in the series of which rockets are best, kind of. We've had a game with the 7th Panzer Division using the RM-70 launcher. We've had a game with the 2nd Panzer Grenadier using their Mars launcher, and today we're going to be making great use of the BM-21 GRAD. And yeah, this was a really fun game, so definitely strap in. Let's have a quick look at what I'm bringing in. So, got some specialized Vodka heading to the center with an Mi-24K. We've got the BTR-80 that's captured the back sector here, that's also going to be heading to Delta now. We've got a T-80BV on the right hand side with an Igla. I've also got a T-80BV and a Strela 10M3 on the left, and a Igla there as well. You might be wondering why my troops are so far back. That's because at the start of this game, I was having a little bit of a miscommunication with my teammate here, the Loved Goat. I wasn't quite sure where he was covering. Turns out he kind of covered the entire front on this right-hand side. So, yeah, I just ended up deploying a bit late, opting to send all of my T-80BVs initially to the center of the map, because there is a great opportunity here, if your opponents aren't aware, that you can take Bravo from them and get a nice +2 tick. Both of these sectors, Bravo and Foxtrot, are +2 ticks, but the reason for that is because they are incredibly hard to take. You can get flanked from both sides very easily if you just focus directly down the middle. But I'm going to be setting up to do just that at the start of this game, whilst I get the BTR-80K to start contesting the sector on the right hand side here. But Loved Goat is going to be coming under fire from Nathan on the right hand side, and Nathan's pretty much put most of his resources on this right hand side, so Loved Goat's going to be seriously outnumbered as those Bradleys start to roll in. Since he's spread himself out so much, I've decided to send my T-80BVs over to the right. You can see I've identified that hole in our front line already. So the Mi-24K is coming over, both the T-80BV is going to move over the Strela 10M3. This is actually a really awesome unit that belongs to the 27th Guards. It has 60% accuracy, and 60% accuracy on the move as well. So perfect stabilizer, really solid AA. This Tor, also fantastic for taking out enemy aircraft with 3,500 meter range. Big bombing strike coming in right now, unfortunately going just over the location of Nathan's forces as they continue to push forwards, but these are going to be relatively undefended against my Mi-24K, so I'm just moving that into position, waiting to get shots on target. Now you might have noticed this fire position order here. That's for the 2 grads. There they are, those bad boys waiting to fire off their rockets. I'm not going to be firing just yet because Nathan's constantly moving with these forces. There's no need for me to really waste my strike. I'm just going to get the T-80BVs to engage in the meantime. Mi-24K being a little bit cautious around potential AA. We did of course see the MiG get hit by some sort of AA, so I've just got to be wary of that, keeping my Mi-24 at max range with the rockets so that I can clean up those Fireteam Dragons, and it works out very nicely indeed. The Mi-24 from Sathor as well, also helping by getting an HGem on target. T-80BV finishes off the last Bradley there. I'm hoping to kill off the sniper before it gets into cover. I think I just about managed to do so, but now the PVAD's coming up to cause us problems. Got to be a little bit careful moving forwards. So T-80BV should be able to at least get direct line of sight on the PVADs should it try and shoot the Mi-24, but the Tornado GR1 is coming in for the strafing run there. That is the seed variant of the Tornado, so going to be very difficult for my Strela to hit. I did have the Tor turned off to avoid the seed, and I turned it back on as he flies over, and you can see that missile tracked perfectly and takes down the tornado. Beautiful stuff. But now we have the Stingers moving forwards to try and clean up my Mi-24. I'm going to be able to pull it back in time. One hit, one missed. Third one going to hit there and take it out. TATBV now going to be falling back. We're going to just wait for the Desaniki to advance, and we'll just use the TATBVs as long-range fire support in the meantime. Because I do still have a TATBV over here with Special Fedka, which kind of leaving that there just in case an enemy push comes through the middle here. But the BTR 80k on the left is kind of under a bit of pressure, as Izing comes in with his infantry and is putting on quite a bit of pressure there. My grads waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike. So far, I haven't really needed them thanks to my helicopter. But with the Mi-24K dead, there's going to be new opportunities for me to use the grad. And this is looking like a good spot to fire. So there's the fire team leader, the PVADs, the Stingers. All of those are fantastic targets. And anything that comes into reinforcement also potentially could get hit by these grads. So there they go, they're firing at the back there. We'll come down to ground level and watch those smash the ground to pieces. So we take out the fire team leader. We're going to be putting the pain onto any infantry that were left in these buildings. EVADS takes a little bit of damage, not too much, but successfully killed the leader at least. Now MiG-25 RBF coming in again. These Fox Bats are so cool. And they leave a huge trail of destruction. Look at that. Huge bombing strike. Unfortunately, likely missing the mark. Now Eagle versus MiG. Another engagement. This time, the MiG winning out with the help of the Strela 10 M3. Big kill, actually, for us. My Strela 10M just moving away from the enemy artillery coming in here. Now I've joined my two TATBVs with the TATBVK, and we're going to try and counter, or at least contest, this sector. There is an AH-64 Apache just sitting right here, which is very, very scary. But he's going to have to come forwards if he wants to shoot my TATBV. He's going to struggle for line of sight otherwise. Unless, of course, I drive into line of sight of it and get it killed, especially with the M1A1 there getting the shot off at close range. But the Motorstrelki RPG-27 coming up. We've got another BMP-2AG coming up. We've got three of those there. They're going to be my next attack on this right-hand side. They were initially planned to go to the left here in order to support against this infantry, but you can see that the pathing took them up this right road, so I'm going to just have to use them to push into this sector instead now, which is fine because we kind of need the reinforcements here anyway. But Lubgoat has managed to keep a descent leader in the backside of this sector, which is really good. So that's worked out nicely. I'll finally bring over the TATBV because I realised not much is going on in the centre. We got two of these like GRU or GSR, sorry, units in the centre here, the Spetsnaz GRU and the Spetsnaz. So if anything does try and come across the open, we're going to have some sort of warning. But at the moment, just trying to sneak up with the TATBV, get some shots on target of these tanks. Now the nice thing about dealing with the Apache here that only has HGMs is it only has its cannon, it doesn't have rockets. I much prefer the Apache that does have rockets, it can be really, really good. TATBV, gonna have to be careful as it does come under attack by an HGM there. There's also the M1 creeping at close range. But currently just shifting over the BMP-2AGs to support the Motorstrelki. I've just got to be careful not to let them get picked off by this Apache. It's pretty much free kills. A bit of a mismicro on my part putting them in that position. Because these two AGs, I mean, they're not really cheap. They're like 55 points a piece, which is really good price for the fire support that they provide, but To lose them for free to this Apache is very wasteful. I should ideally be having the Strela 10 M3 come forwards and start to contest that. So TATBV here, going to get its smoke off at least. And now I'm finally going to be moving up the Strela 10 M3. It's likely because I was probably just not microing that because I was trying to focus on getting another of these awesome artillery strikes in. Look at that. Beautiful stuff. Smashing that compound with rockets. And hopefully wiping out the HGM infantry that was putting pressure onto the TATBV. So, Strela 10 M3 now looking for the kill onto the Kiowa. This is just the exceptional optic recon Kiowa with the rockets. And there we go, Strela 10 M3 getting one shot on target, unfortunately missing the second. Only got one missile left now, so they're going to be fast moving it away, getting it back to some supply. Nathan's unlikely to keep that in position, so I'm going to have a little bit of time to move back forwards. Also shifting my Mi-24V around. The Spetsnaz they can really help me get into this position because they provide really nice recon, especially when they're stationary with that GSR trait. Now that my grads have fired both their sets of rockets, they're going to be using the FOB that I also placed at the start of the game. You've got to bear in mind that these BM-21 grads, they do have 2 salvos worth of ammo on them. So you can fire twice before having to go to the FOB, and I would always recommend doing that because it makes you a lot less sort of predictable when it comes to counter battery. These Spetsnaz shouldn't really be fired at. I want to try and keep them behind this building best I can. Make sure that they don't get spotted. And you'll see that I have made sure that they don't auto cover. In the right hand side down here, there is a little cog that you can press when you have a unit selected, and it will bring up engagement rules. And you can turn them, you can basically make it so that when your units are idle, they don't automatically find cover. And it's really important in situations like this, where you don't want your infantry to automatically jump in the building so that enemy forces can shoot them. But we took out the M3A1 by sneaking through with the TATBV, so that's great. M1A1 going to be taking out the leader there, that's really, really good. So, really successful attack that, taking out the Recon Bradley and the leader, Abrams. That's actually going to give us the entirety of the point on the right hand side. Mi-24K in the meantime, new recon aircraft, going to be smashing the Arrow rifles in this position. We're now going to come under our own assault from rockets, these TATBVs. One of them unfortunately getting hit pretty hard there, and the rocket going to smack it right in the face. We lose the TATBVK, a TATBV going to be limping away. Spetsnaz trying to get their RPG-26 on target in the meantime, but I'm losing 3 Strela 10Ms that I brought up to take out the Apache. So, big mistake on my part, allowing the ITO to get the free kills there. You can see I'm rushing over this Mi-24V to try and save that, but I'm also going to be losing my Mi-24K in the process. Big mistakes here from me. That's a lot of value going down. 2 Strela 10Ms, Mi-24K, big oopsie. Also losing the TATBVK. You can see that I have got some more stuff back here that's been fixed up. Like Strela 10M3 got some more ammo. This TATBV has been fixed up and just waiting for its cohesion to recover. But what we do have is even more grads. Look at that, we got 4 of them. Here we go with another grad airstrike. My poor Spetsnaz meanwhile are going to get completely blasted by bombs. But the fire teams getting hit hard. completely wiped out. Anything in this tree line also getting smashed to bits. And that's going to allow me to put the pressure on here once again. So I'm hoping I cleared that out quite significantly so that I can now push forwards with the BMP-2AG and the T-80BVs in order to make some ground. But these two T-80BVs at the moment are providing fire support to the left-hand side whenever these infantry come into line of sight. My Tor unfortunately caught out by enemy artillery. It is going to get popped there, as you can see. No chance. That radar spins and eventually goes down. So we're currently holding a nice advantage here. 530 points up with a +1. That +1 will be neutralized as they do manage to get a leader into this sector. We've got the rockets aiming again. Ready to go. Check out that view with the planes flying overhead. That's really, really cool. They're currently just reloading. Once they do, I'm hoping to hit these infantry that are pushing nice and aggressive. So my Special Vedka, currently attack moving to this tree line. I was trying to find out what was in this tree line. It appears that the reinforcements had arrived before my Special Vedka got into cover, so they're kind of caught out in the open right now and use up all their RPG-26 shots without finding the second kill. Moving forward, the recon like that, unsupported, kind of a mistake on my part, that's for sure. But we did find ourselves some targets for the rockets. So you can see I'm starting to spread out the grad rockets once again. One thing I would recommend when it comes to grads is try and use them like 2 in the same place at least, because if you do that, they are significantly more effective. Right, firing away. Should have probably placed the targeting on that one a little bit further back, like I've done with the other two there. The rocket's firing away back here, look at that. There's so many rockets coming in, absolutely pounding this forest. Something going up in smoke there, that's for sure. As all those rockets come in. And we did unfortunately get pushed out entirely on this left-hand side. You can see I'm bringing up some reinforcements, some Superdi RPO, a couple of T-80BVs to assist there. I've also, on the next tick, decided to bring up a bunch of these BMP-2AGs, so that's going to help out. And then following that is just going to be some recon. A little bit of a lull in the storm after all of those artillery strikes. I imagine our opponents here just kind of trying to recover a little bit after all of the artillery and secure their position in this compound. So, artillery now coming in, looking for the counter battery. You can see that the BM-21s have already moved. That shouldn't be a problem. You've got to make sure that whenever you use rocket artillery, that you do move it after it fires. You've got to be even more careful with artillery like the Lars. Like the Lars isn't a very good artillery piece. You get it with the Germans because it fires so slowly. So it's actually vulnerable to counter battery before it's even fired its salvo, which is really, really like kind of bad, to be honest. So yeah, just try and avoid that artillery piece. But if you are going to use it, bear that in mind. So T-80BV is now providing nice fire support. We've got the 2 T-80BVs on the right that are firing away. We've got the 3 on the left. And we're getting a really good crossfire in here to help support against the aero rifles. But these Bradleys trying to sneak up on my flank, something that I'm definitely going to have to be wary of. Thankfully my BMP-2 here is going to be able to help out a little bit with its 30 cal, or 30 mil, sorry. M2A2 Bradleys are going down. I'm going to want to smoke that as soon as possible. End up managing to reverse it just in time for it not to be killed by the M1A1, but does get hit by the enemy rocket artillery, which is obviously not ideal. T-80BVs though pushing through, taking advantage of the damage done on the left hand side, and yeah, starting to create nice salient here, pushing through. Need to bring up these BMP-2AGs and a Rozvedka Sapody with me though. It would be very handy, especially the Rozvedka Sapody, so that we can actually see what we're firing at. There's a couple extra units here, but they're going to be fire teams with dragons. And these dragons, they're not going to do too much damage to the front armor of the T-80BV, but they do negatively affect cohesion quite badly. So that is something definitely to consider. Also, side shots still hurt. So it actually ends up being two ITOs, actually just a TOW and an ITO. Rozvedka Sapody now arriving, now moving up the BMP-2AGs. And we've also got the MiGs coming in. These MiGs are going to be going for the AH-1F Cobras. Taking them down is pretty important in this situation because I don't have any AA here. So I'm going to be sweeping to the right, trying to get a shot onto the Tornado before it gets the bombing strike off, because this could be extremely deadly if it hits the right spot. I'm going to unload, and it does manage to clip some of the infantry in the BMP-2AGs. Probably should have not unloaded them, but if they got hit directly then they would have died in their transports. I guess technically they would have died regardless, so no need to panic unload in that situation. But meanwhile, on the right hand side, you can see my T-80BVs have been forced back here. My Strela 10 M3s are caught out, and it's quite simply because I put a lot of resources here into attacking Ising, whilst Nathan has been left to do his own thing and start to really take advantage. So I'm trying to get the Su-17 to come in from the right hand side. We do manage to get a nice AT shot there on target. We're going to be looking for the second one here, and we managed to get that as well. So 2 M1A1HA kills. Rockets now coming in as well. Check out the punishment. Oh yes, the BM-21 GRAD smashing away. Not only did we kill 2 M1A1HAs, we just demolished the infantry on both sides of the river. Huge strike there, absolutely huge. Now these T-80BV is going to move back, get fixed up, and ready to go. Managed to keep both of the Strela 10 M3s alive somehow, as the M1A1HAs did not spot them, at least long enough to kill them. Cobras causing problems. MiG-29 coming in, trying to shoot one of them down, but the Eagle easily able to finish it off with the help of the chaparrals. My T-80BV's back here being fixed up by Loved Goat's supply, which is very nice. And you can see that they're once again trying to hit my artillery back here. To no avail. Every time that's firing, it's moving, of course. Very, very difficult to counter rocket artillery if it's used correctly. I'm trying to get these Strela 10 M3s over to the left-hand side here. Now, one thing that it really took me too long to clock is that these are amphibious. So technically, I can just drive across here and go and shoot the Cobras if I want, but my small brain completely forgot that they were. So yeah, always check if you're near a river in this sort of situation whether or not a unit's got amphibious trait, because in this case that definitely would have helped me out quite a bit. And you can see finally I'm like, oh yeah, I've got amphibious. Let's go. So off we go across the river, looking to try and hunt down some helicopters. 2 more are on the way. you can see that they're going to go across here in order to help out. And yeah, this was the silly thing, is that I bought 2 more of them because I didn't realize that they were amphibious. And then I think this order here reminded me that they were. Anyway, I'm just going to be driving forwards here, getting shots on target. Both the Tow Cobra and Cobra go down, looking for the Kiowa kill as well. Managed to find all 3. Hugely successful strike there. Very, very nice indeed. Unfortunately, this T-80BV having a horrible time as it gets smashed to pieces by enemy rocket artillery. Is going to survive, at least for the time being. I'm going to need some more reinforcements here, so you can see I am bringing in the Monostraki Mattis in order to take up positions. We've also got some extra units coming up for the right hand side, including the Sprut. The Sprut is actually a really cool AT gun. It has a gun of a T-72, and it's incredibly effective at close range. But here again, we're taking advantage of the amphibious trait. Always cool to see this in action and actually practically used. So shifting these 2 new Strela 10Ms over to the right hand side, because my other 2 are over there on the left. Up and out. Off they go. Wonderful. Unfortunately, Loved Goat's 122 mil artillery is going to get smashed by counter battery here. Really difficult to make good use of this tube artillery if you don't micro it. You have to make sure that you're constantly like firing and reloading and then unloading somewhere else. Otherwise, counter battery is always going to be a problem. No, BMP-2AG making short work of infantry. T-80BV dealing with infantry on the right hand side. Bit of a overkill here from the cluster F-111 to kill the BMP-2AG, but apparently these were causing him enough of a headache that he wanted to try and get rid of them. Here we go again. Rocket strikes setting up, just trying to pick off the weakened units. So I'm splitting up my strikes this time, looking for strikes onto the fire teams here, fire teams on the right, and this Bradley. If I can just take out that Bradley for free from this strike, that would be fantastic. But here we go, firing away once again, queuing the order for them to move after the fact. And this one was actually almost perfectly timed with the reinforcements coming in. We smash those fire team completely, and the T-80BVs clean up the M2A1 or the A2 Bradleys. So really, really nice combination. These Bradleys going a little too deep, straight into my OP, and yeah, fire team not able to kill them quickly enough. Now the BBs engaging the M1A1 CP. Unfortunately, over on this left side, meanwhile, Sathor's had a little bit of a hard time, so we are now losing a +1 to that. The best way for us to recover that +1 at the moment is to contest on the right, so I'm going to attempt a counter attack once we've dealt with all of these units. But the BTR-ATs at close range able to kill off the HGM infantry because the HGMs can't fire at that range, so it works out really, really nicely. T-80BVs hitting the M1A1 Abrams nicely. The fire team leader's gone down. We're just going to get in here and try hopefully finish off that fire team. M1A1 going to smoke itself off. So Mi-24V coming over to the side here to try and get an HGM on target. Only need to land like one HGM to get the kill here with the Kokon. Unfortunately, Chaparral going to be spoiling the day, so the Su-17 going to attempt to get the rocket on target, actually ends up missing both of them and is going to get out. So I mean, I guess it's kind of fine when you do a strike like that and then it does actually escape. It's when you miss both and then it doesn't escape where it feels even worse. Anyway, Phantom 2 coming in there for a cheeky bombing strike towards the BTR-80K. The MiG is going to pay for that kill. Monostraki Metis going to be able to at least clean up the chaparral, so that's good. But 9 minutes 20 left on the clock, so all to play for still. My T-80BV is currently just hunting forwards, looking for the kill onto the M1A1, and then we can bring up our own leader and cap this up. So BTR-80K finally coming in. Probably should have had a leader ready to go here a lot sooner, so that we could have contested this. But here go the rockets once again. Going to be smashing directly into my BTR-80K, and it's routing, so I'm not able to move it any longer. Just got to hope those rockets do not hit the mark. Meanwhile, still trying to move up Monostraki on the right hand side. If I can make a decent amount of ground here, we can kind of counteract the loss of conquest points on the left hand side, but Sathor will be able to recover that soon as he gets the T-80BVK in the corner of that sector. When we get the BTR-80K into this sector, we'll actually be taking a +1 for ourselves. So Monostraki Metis finding another chaparral there, lovely stuff. Good to start working on that AA so that my units can, my helicopters and my aircraft can be used. Also managed to take out an M2A2 Bradley there. And the Monostraki Metis here just showing exactly what it's good for. Unfortunately in this case I'm getting smashed by 80 gems from these strikers on the right hand side, which is not something that I expected to happen. Unfortunately the cohesion here really affecting the accuracy of these T-80BVs. One of them at least goes down. Second one trying to get line of sight on with the BTR-80s, charging towards that. Meanwhile on this right hand side, the Mi-24 here getting spotted and killed off by PVADs. Yeah, I'm hoping to kill off the striker before it reloads, because otherwise that's going to be a problem. All of these T-80BVs are incredibly low. This Lynx Hellarm potentially could be a problem. Anyway, BTR-80s now going to be chasing the striker away. They're going to be struggling to penetrate it because they don't really have much in the way of penetration. I'm just going to try and sit on top of it here. Meanwhile, Monostraki Metis do find the M2A2 Bradley CP there, but can't kill it at close range because they're using the Metis. We have the striker. We can kill it slowly but surely. It's like squad. This is literally like squad. The BTR-80s constantly firing at another APC and just not killing it. It's exactly like squad. Managed to just about dodge a really nasty artillery strike there. Imagine if that had hit all three of these T-80BVs. They're all on 1 health. And one of them's on 2 health. But yeah, that would have been really bad. Unfortunately, my BTR, I think, got taken out. So I'm having to move in a T-80BVK, but we at least shot down an Eagle, so that's good. And we're still trying to push the +1 with 5 minutes 40 seconds left on the clock. But large amount of Abrams coming up on this left hand side, and I haven't noticed my BTR-80 being taken out. So nice push here. That is seeing once again, I'm pushing on the right hand side and now the left side's gone. It was constant back and forth. It's like, oh, we took this side, okay, great, now let's go to the right side. Oh, now the left side's gone. Okay, let's go to the left to fix that. Oh, now the right side's gone. And it was just a back and forth, really, really good play from our opponents. You can see it, I've actually got to the point now where my grads have used up the FOB, so we've got through 16,000 supply there and have been forced to bring in extra supply trucks to max them out with rockets. Yeah, we're losing this. It's really bad because it's pushing a +1 against us. BVB here is now pushing into this sector as well. Sathor's going to try and save that with his TATUD. Yeah, it's not great. It's not great. It's not looking good. The TATBVs have somewhat recovered on the right-hand side, but as you saw, I've kind of ran out of supply here. The MTLBs are being used to get the grads back online. The FOBs ran out, so any damage that's occurring to these TATBVs from now on is going to be very difficult for me to actually fix up. So I kind of have to be careful and make sure that these final grad rockets count as we move into the last 4 minutes of this game. Really nice play getting the Challenger 2 into the sector here. That's actually going to push the enemies to a +4 now, as my rockets fire away once again. We've got the bomber coming in at the same time, going for the Strela 10 M3s. The Strela's actually going to survive quite nicely. Rockets peppering this forest again though, just trying to clean up as much infantry in there as possible. What I maybe should have done is tried to focus on the Bradley that we knew was further back. Well, then again, we don't actually know if it's still there, so it might be a bad idea potentially. Anyway, Apache came forward, killed my TATBV. I'm going to try and get revenge with the Strela 10 M3s, and we do manage to do so. But the mid here looking very, very fragile. The LGBs at least managing to kill the enemy command, but we need to get our own commands into position, and I think at this point I think I'd ran out of commands. Like, I've only got the TATBVK. I could probably push that across the bridge, I guess, and get it into this left sector. It would be kind of obvious where it was. There's only 2 minutes 30 seconds left on the clock, so doing that ASAP would have been a good idea. But in the mid, we'd have to get a leader there as well, and Sathor's BTR 60PBK still got a ways to go. A little bit of a concentration of units here, so the Grad's going to be hitting that with their last few rounds, and managed to take the M1 Abrams down to half health. Anything else that was nearby will be definitely damaged or low on cohesion. So the TATBV is going to be pushing up there to try and take advantage of that. TATBVK, you can see, is now finally moving across here, or at least trying to, with the quick hunt order. So across we go. Contest this once again. Going to bring it back to a +3. We've really got to cap this back, and if we actually cap this back, it'll go to a +1 in our favour. We get the M1A1HA kill on the right hand side. That's really good. The TATBV going to be taken out on the left as we come across and engage these M1IPs. Now the BTR capping back the left side, moving forwards. My Sprut's actually in a really good position here to find some side shots, but these TATBVs kind of microed very badly into the backside of this sector. +1 now in our favour. 600 points for us. TATBVK trying to stay alive here. F111F cluster coming in though. Gonna have to dodge that. See, I'm reversing. SU-17's coming in, gets the kill, but the cluster destroys the T-80. Only 30 seconds left on the clock. Strela 10 M3 trying to shoot down the Kiowa. Has the help of the SU-17, which I keep in the sky even though it's used as KH-29s because it's getting so close to the end of the game. BMPs killing off loads of infantry on the right hand side. MiG-27 coming in with the bombing strike now as well. Eagles, tornadoes, T-80s pushing in hard on the backside of this sector, but that is gonna be game after the full 40 minutes, and what a cracking game it was. Fantastic. Beautiful, beautiful game. 10,520 kills to 7,265 losses after all that. Drained an entire FOB, Got actually quite a lot of kills with the grads, particularly on these smaller fire teams. You see this one killed a Stinger and a Naito. This one killed multiple fire teams, the Bradley and the leaders there as well. This one again getting loads of those fire teams and Stingers. So that's all good kills. The T-80 BVs, of course, doing their work. This Su-17, what an absolute hero, killing 2 M1A1s in one strike. That was massive for the momentum on that right-hand side. But yeah, in the end, this MLRS actually probably doing better. Look at how many kills this T-70 MLRS got. 4 T-80 BVs. Absolutely gross. The rocket wars continue in WARNO. But yeah, fantastic game. Really enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys did too. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.